In the bustling metropolis of Arachnia City, a young man named Peter Fields was the unlikeliest of heroes. Unlike the famous Spider-Man who swung through New York with grace and power, Peter was underwhelming. His spider powers were, to put it kindly, mediocre. Peter had been bitten by a radioactive spider during a school field trip. While he gained some enhanced abilities, they were far from impressive. He couldn't lift cars or swing from building to building with ease. Instead, he could barely lift a filled backpack. His webs often fizzled midair. His spider sense only worked about 50% of the time. This earned him the nickname Spider Lad among the people of Arachnia City, a moniker that dripped with sarcasm. Kids imitated his clumsy web slinging, memes mocked his failed heroics, and even local news anchors joked about his mishaps. Peter was humiliated, but determined. He dreamed of being a real hero, someone the city could look up to. He tried to train on his own, but often ended up making things worse. His attempts to stop crime usually led to more damage, and criminals didn't fear him, they laughed. One fateful day, after yet another failed attempt to stop a purse snatcher, Peter sat on a rooftop, staring at the city lights. He thought about giving up, about going back to being just Peter Fields. But then, a voice interrupted his thoughts. "You've got potential, kid. You just don't know how to use it." Peter turned to see a tall figure in a hooded cloak. It was Madame Web, the mysterious seer of the Spider-Verse. She had been watching him from afar. "If you're willing to put in the work, I can teach you to harness your powers." Peter hesitated, but agreed. Madame Web took him under her wing, and for the next 6 months, Peter trained harder than he ever had before. She taught him how to refine his web slinging, maximize his limited strength, and enhance his reflexes. She even helped him develop a new technique, concentrated web blasts that packed a surprising punch. Most importantly, she taught him the mental discipline to focus his spider sense, turning it into a reliable tool. Peter learned to anticipate moves in a fight. When he finally returned to the city, it was as if Spider Lad was a completely different person. The first time he faced a group of bank robbers, they laughed, until Peter dodged their every move, disarmed them with precise web shots, and tied them up in record time. Word spread quickly. The once laughable Spider Lad was now a force to be reckoned with. He wasn't the strongest or the flashiest hero, but he was smart, resourceful, and determined. The city began to respect him, and even his critics had to admit that he'd earned his place among the heroes. Peter had learned an important lesson. Being a hero wasn't about having the most power. It was about heart, perseverance, and the willingness to keep trying, no matter how many times you fell. From then on, Spider Lad embraced his name, not as a joke, but as a badge of honor. After all, even the smallest spider can spin a web strong enough to hold the heaviest burden.